Hey everybody, it's a big day today. I've got all sorts of stuff showing up from different companies across the planet. Just more boat stuff. This is my new halyard I'm putting up today. New throwable float cushion, lifeline wire. This is from Bishop Lifting. 53 cents a foot. 1x19. It's a really good price. I had initially purchased that for my starboard shroud, and it's too small. I screwed up. So I found American Rigger Supply in Kansas City, and I went and I picked up this beautiful fat wire. I got 50 feet of this, and this will be for my new shrouds on both sides of the boat. I keep saying shrouds, but I mean to say stays. Stays go all the way to the top of the mast and run down to the deck of the boat, to the chain plate. Those are going to be, that wire is going to be new stays. And hopefully, time allowing, I'll swage this wire at 4 different points and get it installed. Get the halyard installed. Get the VHF? A VHF wire for the antenna installed on the mast, through the mast. Get the new antenna on top of the mast. Whew. It's a lot. I ain't gonna lie. It's a lot of mast work. I was at the club last night at Perry Yacht Club for just a little hangout party, a little country western party. Did a little karaoke. Had some wonderful barbecue and met some great people. And I picked up the Perry Yacht Club pennant. That's awesome, isn't it? That's going to go up on the boat today. And I got another one for a friend that I'm going to ship to him in Ohio. What else do I have here? I got something in the driveway that Amazon just dropped off. I'm not even sure what it is. So I'll make a long story very short. I was adopted at birth, and I found my biological father when I was about 27, and we met. And we've had a continuing relationship through the years. And for a while, we'd kind of lost touch. He's a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. And long story short, he ended up passing away, about a month and a half ago from cancer in the ripe old age of mid-70s. And he left me a tiny little bit of money. Not a lot, but enough that I can finish this boat project to my satisfaction and, to the level that it needs to be, and stick a little bit away for a rainy day. So it makes me feel good to be able to put some of this into the boat. He was a boating guy himself. He loved to cruise to Bimini. He had a great big long power boat, almost like a cigarette boat. And he loved to go deep sea fishing, and he was certainly a man of the sea and the water. So it makes me feel good that I can use some of that money gifted to me to put it back into the boat. Essentially, I feel like, putting a part of him with me on the boat when I'm on the water. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. So let's take a look at the boat today. There she is. It's my baby. I love her to death. She sure is getting a little prettier each day, isn't she? She's gorgeous. So today's projects, let's finish out the mast. Let's get it to where we can restand it. New halyard, new starboard shroud, new port shroud to match. That wire's heavier than what I have. And it was a mismeasuring. I was told that this was 3 millimeter, and it's actually a little bigger than that. Damn metric system. I don't know why we didn't switch to metric decades ago. It would just make life easier. So what showed up is actually, and you probably can't really tell the difference from this thickness to this thickness. This is even thinner, but what showed up is just a little bigger than that. And I got 50 feet of it. So I might restring my lifeline. I'm positive that's the original lifeline, which means it's from 1985. The issue is these swages. I'll have to find these and swage the wire on. And that's a specialty swage with, of course, a specialty swage size and thread size and blah, 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 blah. This side's really easy. It's just a loop and two leads that you squeeze together, swage them. It's this end that concerns me. So, you know, now that I think about it, when my new goosenecks showed up, they came with swages. They came with this. I may already have those. Here's part of the problem. At 52, I can't remember where the hell I put them. They're here somewhere, because I never throw anything away. But damn if I don't know where those are amongst my pile of crap. I mean, I'm pretty organized, but I don't know where those went. I bet that they're in my boat box. I bet that's exactly where they are. So that saves a problem. Gooseneck and swages sent with it, those are the same size. Gosh, I could make that today. That's awesome. I gotta go to the hardware store and get the little rounds, the keeper, I guess you would call it. Let me see. I've got some here somewhere I bought at the hardware store that are, unfortunately, for that smaller wire. Oh, I get to fix a toilet later today if I have time. Oh, you know what? Those are in the Jeep. I know where they are. So these are my swages. These are the part you crush around the wire with a special tool, and it locks the wire in place. I know my voice is very raspy. I'm not sure why. I don't feel sick or anything, but I almost lost it last night. Just kind of came on out of nowhere. I think it's allergies or irritation. So I'm a little raspy. But so these are for 1/8 inch wire. These are not going to fit my wire, the new wire for the stays. So I have to go replace those. They will work on the wire I purchased for the Lifeline, which is 1/8 and is bigger what is currently existing. So I'm happy about that. And it being new, it's got a lot more rigidity. If you look at the old stuff, it's just been exposed for so long, it gets kind of bendy. There's no real kinks in the wire anywhere. That'd be a bad sign. But I mean, if you really inspect it, you've got to wonder if there's maybe a little bit of corrosion on the inside of the wire, and that's how this kind of wire breaks down over time, is from the inside out. So in a situation that you might lean against this wire and needing its life-saving capabilities, keeping you on the boat, it could snap, it could break. And, you know, nobody would be like, boy, I saw that coming. But I did. And that's why I'm going to replace it. Susan keeps telling me, she's like, you know, you're not going to be happy until you replace every single thing on that boat. And she's not wrong. It's just kind of how I am. I like my stuff to be perfect. I've got another winch on order, which I'm really excited about. So, you know, I replaced my teeny, tiny, stupid winches, which were worthless, for these nice variant, these are 16s, and they're single speed, and they're wonderful. I polished them. They look brand new. I serviced them, re-greased them. I've got a 21 2-speed coming for the top of the boat up here to pull halyards, to pull mainsail, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited about that. We get to get rid of this tiny piece of crap up here and put that on. So that's gonna be phenomenal. That's coming, you know, of all places, I found that on eBay. Looks real good. Hope it shows up in pretty shape. And of course, I'll polish it, break it down, strip it, clean it, and re-grease it with Teflon. Oh, that was real pretty. Look at that. Oh, it's like a fairy tale moment right here in my driveway with my raspy voice. All right, so I'm gonna go grab stuff, probably run to the hardware store, get my swages on, and I'll see you in just a little bit. This is the Donate Life Jeep. The original Donate Life vehicle. When the back is on the top, the window is, it says Donate Life. Of course, I've got the Donate Life license plate, Donate Life flag that flies in the wind. Nice beautiful flag I had made with one of the many logos I made. Let's go to the hardware store. We got to get some swages. Excuse me. Cruising through lovely Baldwin City, Kansas. Looks like kind of a sleepy Saturday around town. Not much going on. There's a few people out. We are a town of a whopping 5,000 rural in the county of Douglas, just south of Lawrence, Kansas, home of the University of Kansas. Go Jayhawks. Beautiful little town. I moved here about 22 years ago. I think it was 2022 I moved here. And I raised my family here. Just was able to really sink some good roots here. It's a fantastic community of people willing to, help and support each other. And I really like living here. The church is busy on Saturday. Whoops, I need to watch where I'm driving. I don't want that turn lane, I want this one. There's our local supermarket. We're going to be pulling up here to Arrowhead Hardware. My friend Kent Schaefer is the owner. Super guy. He bought this hardware store, gosh, I think 6 or 8 years ago, something like that, and has improved it tremendously over the years. I'm there. Speak of the devil, there he is. Let's go whip up and say hi to him. Hey, buddy, you're on YouTube. Say hi. There he is. All right, let's go in and get our swages. All right, so I've got to a situation here. I can show you what I've done. I've got the wire wrapped around the base and it's slowly tightened on itself, but there's 2 plastic zip ties that are holding it. And so my fear here is if I pull, sharply or wrap this around something small, you could, effectively bend or crease the wire, dramatically, damaging it and reducing its strength and capability. We don't want to do that. So this round base is big and the wire's still in a loop shape. And I have put this board down to hold it with my feet, and I have double channel locked the swage and pulled pretty sharply, effectively creating the loop. The wire is wrapped around the loop, the swage is cinched up all the way, and now we're gonna get the swaging tool and we're gonna squish this puppy. So let's see if I can get that done. I don't believe I have a way to set the camera up for you to watch that. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to get it so you can see it and do it. This is when I need a third person. Okay, it's happening. And swaged. Closed all the way. That's our first pinch of several. I'm going to remove the channel lock now. And let's look at that close together. So that's our first swaged in. I'm going to squeeze this puppy here, and again here at the tip, and here again at the base, maybe even a fourth in the middle, and then that little round collar will come up here to the end. What we'll do is take a hacksaw, cut this end off the barb. That little round piece will slide up to the end and effectively be a locker. I'm going to do that next. We're swaged. We've got 4 different points I squeezed on the wire at the base, 2 in the middle, 1 at the top. Now I'm going to take my little handy dandy economy hacksaw from Do It Best Hardware. Shout out to Arrowhead Hardware and Kent Shaper, who you saw a few minutes ago in the video. Now, sorry about all the terrible movement there. We use a hacksaw instead of something like a grinder or a Dremel, because you don't want to heat up the wire. I don't know if you can see me. I swear to God, I just need to hire a cameraman. I spend half my time trying to figure out how to get good shots. So now we're gonna cut this barb end off. We don't use a Dremel or a grinding tool because it would apply heat to the wire, effectively allowing it to, you're changing the chemical structure of the wire at that point when you apply heat to it at that capacity, and you can start corrosion, and that we don't want that. So it's going to be a minute with the economy saw. You know what? Those last 3 are small enough. I should be able to nip them off with my nippers. Good Lord. Wow, that wire has got serious tensile strength. I can't cut it. I can't cut it with my nippers. We're so close. We're so close. Come on. One wire remains. Good God. You would think these would just plow right through that wire. These must be the weakest pliers in the world. All right, I got one little piece kind of sticking out. We're gonna push it back in. Okay, I've cut. We're now flush. Looks good. I'm gonna bring that lock up right there. Nice and tight. We're gonna swage it on. Swager. Swager. Swaging. Did I mention this is difficult without a third arm? Okay, there it is. Just like that. Thank you, Mr. Kent Shaper, for having amazing tools that I can rent. That swaging tool is $200 on Amazon. I don't know if I mentioned that. And now we have a brand new end for the starboard stay. That was the difficult one. I think the next one will be easier because I'll be able to put that end on something and pull. It'll be a little easier. So now we're gonna have to cut this wire again, but we've got to get the exact length that I need. It's got to be exactly as long as this one. So I'm going to go out into the driveway and hook this end to something and this end of the old one to something, and then we're going to put the two ends together in here. We'll cut the wire, swage it, and then we'll have a brand new stay. All right, see you in a hot minute. Wow, it is oppressively hot today in the garage. I've got the air conditioner running over there, but with the door open it doesn't make a lot of difference. At least I'm not in the sun. So this is my setup I've got here. You know, I swaged the one end of the wire. Man, I just realized I've made a critical mistake. Shit. I can't swage this, and I've got to undo what I've got here. What did I do with that? Dang it, I'm so pissed. This has got to be on it. This has to be on there. God dang it. And I knew that because I went up to the mast to take it off. This is what happens when it's hot and miserable out and your brain starts to not function correctly. All right, I'm going to take this apart and I'm going to restring all of it with the thing back on, and I'll see in a second when I'm ready to swage. Oh my God. Took it apart. Got my hardware back on. So this has to go through this eyelet that I'm creating. And then this hole carries a bolt that goes through the mast at the top. Oh man. This whole process is like decoding a puzzle. All right. I'm satisfied that we are the same length or shorter. Shorter's better. I can lengthen my turnbuckles, but I can only shorten them so much. So I'd like to err on the side of shortness if at all possible. Now, let's clamp up again. I just don't get it. Okay. Oh yeah. And there we go. I'm real happy with that. So quick check. I'm going to pull my table leg back. Really tighten those wires up. If you probably can't tell from that perspective, but this is what I'm looking at. Both wires are connected to the same point out on my carport there. I put a bolt in one of the legs. Both eyelets are wrapped around that bolt, and they're both pulling back this direction. So this wire has a little bend in it. This is my old stay, and it's where the part of it out there is ballooned out, meaning it's slightly longer than this wire, you know, by a few millimeters, maybe a couple centimeters. So I've got them parallel here, and I've pulled them to equal lengths to the best of my ability, created the new eyelet, tensioned the new eyelet as best as I can. Really looks like, yeah, that swage is pulled all the way down. I'm going to release my lead clamp. visually inspect that I am happy with that. And I am. But before I squeeze it, I want to really think this through. This has, can you see that? It's got a curve on it. It's got a bend in it. Effectively bolting it to the mast at an angle like this. Look at my hands. That's just from handling the wire. So it's going to be canted a little bit, holding it out away from the mast. And I want to make sure that I've got that on the right side. Yeah, so if my arm is the mast and it screws to the mast, the cant is kicking it that way, away from the mast. And this is the starboard shroud. So that's cool, yeah, that works. So when I build the other one for the port side, I'm gonna wanna make sure it goes the other way. Because if this is on upside down and I swage it, I've just ruined like $50 worth of wire, because you can't unswage and fix it. So we got to remember that. It's got to cant the other way for the other side of the mast. Let's swage. All right, you want to see what the jaws look like? So in this case, on this size of swage, we're using the largest jaw, and we're squeezing it. This thing is wide this way and skinny this way. This is the way the wires run. We're squeezing it that direction. So I'm going to start at the top. Well, you know what? I'm going to start in the middle. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. So it's pretty cool. This thing effectively rounds out that piece of lead, or I guess it's aluminum, it's not lead. These old ones look like they may be lead. So that's how you do it. Now we're going to take our hacksaw, we're going to cut our extra wire off flush, and then I'll bring that little keeper or lock, don't trip over the wire, this piece all the way back down, and we'll swage that as well. And then we'll test fit before I build another one. I think I'm done for the day. It is unbelievably hot today. I'm running the air in here just to be able to duck in and get, you know, maybe a 10 or 15 degree difference. Oh my God, I'm dizzy. We're done. Our stays are up. And working on the roof, oh my God, the metal's so hot you can't touch it with your hand, it'll burn you. You could cook an egg on that roof. So here we are. Here's our new connection. I don't like that that's got a twist in it. I'm gonna have to fix that before I raise the mast. Yeah, let's do that right now. All right, fixed. So straight there. Got the lay on the deck. Straight there. That's the new stay. 5/16. The old shroud, which just goes to the spreader, it's like a step up from 1/8. It's a weird measurement. And that's why the wire size originally came wrong. There's a new one. There's the old one. And they're running to the mast up to the block. It's up there. And I'd love to show you, and I'd love to do more. I'm done. It is like, wow. It's dangerously hot out. I worked out here, a week, 2 weeks ago in the heat. And it was hot, but it was like survivable. And today, it feels like if I stay out here, I honestly might die. No joke. Like, I am not exaggerating. I'm dizzy. I don't feel real well. I've been out here 4 hours, and I've been hydrating while I've been out here. Whew. So we're going in for the rest of the day. I got to go feed and water the chickens so they don't die. And that's my air conditioner. Be awesome if it had remote control. Otherwise, I gotta stand on a bucket to turn it on and off. Whew. It's my water jug I've been drinking out of. Oh my, I'm gonna get in the air conditioning for the rest of the day and have a little lunchy lunch and maybe do boat stuff later tonight if it cools down, but likely probably tomorrow. So I didn't get the halyard ran, and I didn't get the CBD the VHF, the CB wiring ran, or the antenna mounted. We'll do it when it's cooler. Good morning. How's it going today? It's cooler this morning, and I think the heat will definitely build into the day. So I'm out here early. It's 9 a.m. and I've had my coffee. I feel kind of funky today. I don't know what's going on. I have a little nausea. Maybe it's the meds. A little shakiness. Maybe that's the blood sugar. I don't know. I've been on the tirzepatide, Monjorno, for, I don't know, a couple of weeks now. That the highest dose, I've dropped about 10 more pounds, and I've come off the Ozempic. I don't have the acid indigestion that I originally had. You know, I've been on Ozempic for probably 12 years, just part of my regular med regimen, and I ran out. And it's one of those drugs I constantly battle with my pharmacy to keep this one in stock. Susan and I both take it, and I've been off it now, I think 3 or 4 days. So maybe it's a side effect of that, maybe a little funkiness going on, but I just feel a little off today. I don't know. And that's part of heart transplant life. You know, you don't always feel fantastic. The regimen of medications we take are brutal. You know, the anti-rejection meds, they beat up your kidneys and they just make you feel crappy. So that's that. It's Tuesday, kind of the early part of the week, and I've got the full day to work on the boat if I want to. I think once it gets real hot, I'll probably go inside and do some editing. I shot a little video for a friend for her property. I did some drone work, and I'm going to put together a little sales video for her beautiful property. And it's actually up by Lake Perry. And it's acreage and wooded area that goes all the way down to the lake. Really, really pretty. So, did you notice? Did you notice something behind me? The blue stripe matches the hat now, doesn't it? Look at that. I've been wanting to do that for a couple of days, but it's just not been on the agenda. And just rolled out this side, and it went on really quick and easy. for a smaller stripe. A little bit of tape, a little bit of soapy water spray, and she worked out really well. I'm thrilled with the contrast of colors. It's exactly the Donate Lifeboat colors. How cool is that? So I'm getting ready to do the other side, and I'll get a little video of that. So I've got my tape up. So what I will do, I will dry fit the blue stripe, and I've got it cut already. Here's my, where is she? Gotta be careful with it. I know my tool table here, it's a disaster. I need to go through and do a reorganization and put everything back where it belongs. Oh, and I've got to return the swager from yesterday's project. That's a rental tool. That's a 7-inch slope off the top side. And I'll dry fit that right here. She'll come a little longer than the green. She's pointing at patience. Oh, there's a tool I left out yesterday in the extreme heat. I'll tape it up, and then once I come back here, I'll peel it from here to here. I'll spray this with soapy water. I spray the back of the blue tape, the sticky side, with water, and that way you can slide it around if you need to move it and correct it. And we do that all the way down. I do about an 18, 20 foot section at a time, spraying the boat, spraying the back of the tape as I peel it. Go right over this bolt head and keep on coming down. I don't know if we're getting involved with that's a, it's a vent. It's to let air into the water tank so you don't vacuum lock your tank when you're pumping water to the sink. This is not a hooked up device. There's no water tank in the boat currently. Something I'd like to change. I'd like to get a water tank for this boat. I haven't had a whole lot of luck doing research. So if you know anything about boat water tanks, carrying water for the potable water, at least for the very least hand washing, let me know in the comments, and I'll check out your link, and maybe I can find a tank to put in the forward V berth of the boat here and get some water working for my sink. That'd be cool. We'll come all the way up here, and we'll terminate right here about where the stanchion is for the pulpit. And I'll do what is that? Probably like a 45 to match this ending. And it'll look just like this side. See? So that's what I'm doing today. And then after this, I'm going to get up on the roof and do some mast work. I need to run my VHF cable. We're going to mount a new antenna on top of the mast. And, I'm going to have to go to the hardware store and get a, whatever that is called, to connect this to this. I guess it's a double-sided female adapter. I've actually got one on the boat that I could steal and then replace. Excuse me. Gotta figure out how I'm going to attach my antenna. I don't know if I'm doing very top of the mast. This might come off the side of the mast. And I think, as I recall, on my table of shame here, well, crap. There's a bracket here somewhere. This table's become a disaster. It's my project table I work off of. And when I get new things delivered that need to go onto the boat, this is where I usually put them. And I know what I'm working on next. Man, I know that thing came with an adapter bracket. Excuse me. My voice is better today. Mostly. It's still a little rough. I'm not sure if I picked up a little bug or if it's just severe allergens. I ran out of my loratadine, my allergy pill that I take every day. And that might be it. I may just be having some severe allergies. I'm a little froggy still. I find the less I talk, probably the better. So I'm going to find this bracket and then get busy on this stripe. So I'll talk to you in just a little bit. straight, you can help me do that. Unfortunately, you can't get back very far where the boat is currently parked with the carport in the way. I think we're good. About an inch of white showing between the stripes. I think that looks great. Do you concur? Yeah? I figured you would. Let me find my squeegee. Oh, there it is, back pocket. All right, so we're gonna squeegee, let's watch. Just gonna go push that water right out of that sticker a couple of times. That will dry this afternoon when it hits 95. Today's the last day of the super, super hot, is what I'm told by Miss Bogowith on Fox News. And no, I don't watch Fox News. I just watch the weather, our local channel. And I like Michelle, she's cute. Here we go. Boom, just like that. What do you think? Sticker is on. I mean, it happens pretty quick. You didn't get to see me cut out the chain plate, but it's literally just rolls over the bolt right there. And I take my little super dull X-Acto knife and you just cut it out. It could be a prettier cut. My blade's dull, but you know what? From a distance, nobody's gonna know. And this is a maintenance area anyway. These get rebedded every 5 or so years. You pull them and rebed them with 5200 so they don't leak. There we go. Top stripes on. Thrilled. I mean, I really, really freaking like it. That looks sick. Now we got to decide what we're going to do on the bottom. So I can either do the big stripe and I do it at the water line, which might be really cool. Probably what I'm going to do. But I got another product that showed up yesterday. This stuff, it must have come from like Taiwan on a boat. Because it took like 4 weeks to get here. I kind of had forgot. Well, I didn't forget I'd ordered it, but forgot what I kind of planned to do with it. It's actual pinstripe. This is automotive pinstripe, as is most of this stuff. But I don't know. I'm going to do some dry layup. You know, that might be. Oh, here comes Mr. Oh, it's the mail lady. I love the color of her Jeep. She's probably got packages for me for the boat. Let's go see. Let's do a little walk around. I've got some striping done. I'm really happy with it. So today we added the 1-inch blue stripe, little accent, and I've got the small dual pin stripe, just as an accent on the lettering. That kind of help. Feel like it kind of helps frame it or helps it show a little better. So upper blue stripe we did earlier, and I just finished the lower blue stripe, the waterline stripe. And I'm thrilled how the boat looks. It is coming together really kind of organically. This was, I always had kind of a vision in my head, but I didn't know how it would end up. I just knew kind of what direction I wanted to go. And I knew I'd just have to kind of follow the lines of the boat and just let it kind of talk to me. And this is what Patience told me to do, basically. I just stepped in a hole. I'm so happy. She looks so pretty. And you'll see this on the water, and you'll know exactly who it is. And the next step is to get the logo sticker right here on the bow. And I'm thinking, I'll have to get my tape measure out, but right here, great big round sticker with the Donate Lifeboat logo. I'm helping my friend at Fast Signs, Matt, up in Lawrence, Kansas. He's the owner of that business. I've worked with him for years. through the CBD industry and all sorts of different printing. I'm hoping he can make that logo up for me, and we'll put it right there. It'll look fantastic, and it's the same colors. Well, you know, it's on the hat right here, right there. So imagine that right there. Pretty cool, yeah? Let me know what you think in the comments. Tell me how I'm doing and what you think of the progress. She's a new boat. I mean, I've gone through this vessel from bow to stern and just made her my own, made her what I wanted her to be, made her what she needed to be, and I'm enormously proud. And I think when I launch, I think I'll probably cry like a baby, just because it's such a labor of love. It's a vision and a wish and a dream that is huge for me. Something that's kind of life-changing. It's not just about the sailing, but it's about the freedom and the peace, and there's just a lot to it. That's all I can say. Is it will settle my restlessness, which has been chewing on me for years since transplant. This is part of my identity now. I'm thrilled about it. We're running wire down the mast. I've been up here a while. It's starting to get really hot. The roof has yet to become a searing hot bacon cooking metal roof, but it's not far away. So let me show you what I've got here. I've cut a hole into my mast, or this is the mast head actually. And a lot of you will be like, "Oh, wow, I can't believe you did that." You know, it's a replaceable piece. It's pitted aluminum, you know, cast aluminum and pot metal. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a small hole. Well, actually, I'm going to cut a small channel into this, run my wire right through this little channel that I'm going to create, and this will go right over that hole. So don't you worry. And this is solid stainless steel. So solid stainless steel versus aluminum that's cast, I'll take that any day. So I have affixed my VHF cable to my wire runner, and why I've cut this giant hole is I kept the wire intact. So the plug end is on it, and it's about that big around, so it's got to be able to get into the hole. I mean, I could have cut the plug off, but I've already cut it in one place, and I didn't feel like 2 cuts is a great idea. You're disturbing the shielding and potentially, you know, damaging the connection and all that jazz. So I was like, you know, we're just gonna bit a big old hole here. Could have done it in the top. I feel like this, at least you're not directly pouring rainwater into the hole, but not really that it matters. Even if rainwater gets into the mast, it just runs out the bottom. Oh, okay, I thought I was hitting an obstruction. My wires. This is, I've got my wire laid out on the roof behind me. Hold on a minute, I got things sliding around. This is what happens, you're working on a freaking metal roof. Everything slides away from you. Okay, I'm just crossing my fingers. We're not gonna hit any obstructions. we hit one obstruction, and I think it was here at the connection point for jib halyard. No, that's not my jib halyard. That's my jib halyard. That. Why am I struggling with this? Yeah, that is the jib halyard. Jib halyard attaches there along with the outer stays, and the forestay attached there. The back stay comes up to the top of the mast. Okay. At any rate, I hit a little obstruction, probably a screw or something. I'm gonna have to set you down. Here, you can look at me for a minute. While I kind of furl out my wire here so it pays out better into the hole. All right, this is gonna take both hands. I'll get back to you in a second. All right, well, I tried the push method and I just couldn't get all the way there. I'm out down there now with the green, the wire fish tape. Whew, it's starting to get really hot on this roof. So I can't complete this in the next like 20 minutes. I'm out of here. I'm getting off this thing. I mean, it'll burn your leg. If you sat down on this and put your leg on it, it'll burn you. So I pulled it back out. I took the wire off the fish. I ran the fish down. It's out of the mast. And now I've got the wire tied to the end of the fish, and we're gonna feed it in and get it started. Then I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna pull the fish, and we hope we're gonna pull the wire out. And it's gonna come all the way out of the mast, and then Bob's your uncle. And then we have a VHF wire run. Then I come back up here, put the plate over the hole, mount the antenna, and we're good. So we had like 2 hang-ups, and then all of a sudden it went really fast, and then bingo, there she is. Look at that. That's my antenna wire. That's the way I should have done it to begin with. Now I'm gonna pull all that slack that's up on the roof. I don't know if you can see it. Down the mast. Just gonna leave enough up there. Oh, I think we got a loop. Oh, come on. Oh, we got a knot or something. And I even laid all the wire out on the roof so it would pay out real well. Oh yeah, it coiled on itself. I wish I had a bridge from here to here. That would be great, but I don't. So every time I gotta go from A to B, we gotta do the ladder. Further increasing my risk of killing myself. Back up we go. Pardon me for spitting. I'm incredibly thirsty. Okay, back on the roof. Yep, sure enough, she nodded. Not cool. Let's get those coils out of that. Nice straight shot. Okay. Wow. Oh my God, it's hot up here already. I know what you're thinking. Brian, why didn't you do the roof stuff on the mast before you striped the boat? And well, my only answer is there's a natural order of things, and it just didn't feel right. Just felt like I had to stripe it first. Okay, I'm going back up. Ow, that was my knee. See now why I put the sticky sandpaper pad there. Great place to step on the boat. And there she goes. And presto, just like that. We got all the wire down here. Oh God. I gotta tell you, it is hotter than I don't even know what. And it just occurred to me I'm gonna have to cut the wire anyway. Well, that's all right. I've got all this extra long wire. This already runs to the radio. The original wire, and why I'm doing this, it's right here. Can you see that? It's got snapped off, and I imagine the mast probably got stepped and it pinched it off. So that's a dead wire there. And there's not enough wire for me to work on to strip that back. Splicing this kind of wire together, you need about that much room, because there's the rubber coating, there's copper wiring that is laced around it, and then behind that is an aluminum shield, and then there's another white plastic core, and then inside that white plastic core is the VHF wire. So you've got to really have a lot of room to cut back and separate things out. You've got to put aluminum foil shielding back into it, and it just is a pain in the butt. But I'm gonna have to cut this wire, and I will cut it way out here, and I'll take the plug off of that end and splice it in, and it will connect right here to this double female connector, and then we're gonna have VHF radio again, which is awesome. I know a lot of people say, but you don't really need VHF, or you could have bought a handheld, and sure, I could have, or I could go without. I mean, we're just going to be on Lake Perry after all, and there's a cell phone tower literally on the edge of the lake. But you know, what if something really goes wrong, and you're out, and you have some kind of what if you, I don't know, something terrible happens. You don't have no cell connection, or you lose your phone for whatever reason. Can't call anybody, and you need help. You've got the VHF. Excuse me a moment. It's time to lose the hat. It's cooking my brain. That's besides the point. I don't know where I'm going to take this boat. You know, ideally, in a year or so, when I've got some real good experience, maybe we buy a vehicle that will really easily tow this boat. The Jeep is a little small for it. Maybe you want to take this thing to the Great Lakes and we want to cruise for a whole week. You know, then you're going to want that VHF radio. You know, if you're out in the middle of the Great Lakes and something goes wrong, you would like to be able to get help to you pretty quick. I don't think I'll go as far as putting like an EPIRB on this vessel. You know, those things are, you know, like $1,000. So you want to be able to get, you know, help when you need it. I've got health complications. You know, I'm a transplant recipient, and you just never know. You know, I could punch my ticket tomorrow and never put this thing in the water. But if I start feeling ill and I'm in the water and I'm incapacitated and I'm unable to sail back to land, you know, it's nice to know that I can maybe call for help, and the Coast Guard will hear me. The VHF transmits on a much higher band than the CBD. Every time I try to say CB, I say CBD. It's because it's burned into my brain for 7 years of selling CBD products with Phoenix Natural Wellness. The CB band is a much lower frequency than the VHF bands. So it'll travel hundreds of miles, where the CB lower frequency gets several miles, and that's about it. So I'm going to get back up there and finish this before it's bacon cooking time. I think we've already approached that point, but all I got to do is screw that plate on and attach the wire to the bracket, and I'm done. Well, I'm going to run the halyard through that pulley, get it down here as well, and then I think as far as roof stuff goes, I'm done. And I think I'm going to think it through, but I think I'm at the place where I can re-step the mast and get it up, which I've been wanting to do really bad. It's just a pain to work on the boat with it laying down like this. So I don't know if I'll do that today or tomorrow. The week's rapidly running out on me. I've got responsibilities I've got to take care of. This was kind of my only full boat day. Thank God it's not quite as hot as it was yesterday, but you can see I'm dripping in sweat. We're coming to a close conclusion. We're close to getting this thing done. And I just need, if I had a solid week of cooler temperatures and nothing to do but work on the boat, I think we'd be ready to splash. And that's the end goal, is to get this thing in the water, hopefully at the very latest September 15th. And I know I'm pushing that back. I've been saying the end of August. September 15th is when what it costs for me to get a wet slip at the club is prorated 10% for the remainder of the year. And that sure would be nice. I could pay for that a lot cheaper if I wait till September 15th. And then I've got all of remaining September, October, maybe even a little bit of November sailing time, and then pull the boat back home. And she'll sit here for the winter. And I'll winterize her, excuse me. Good God. I'm sorry. Probably look gross. So it's kind of a money saving thing, and it's significant. It goes from a 50% prorate on the cost of a wet slip down to 10. And believe me, it's significant. This boat will be almost $1,300 a year to put in a wet slip. It's $50 a foot, and at 24 feet, you can do the math. And then trailer storage, if you want to keep your trailer there, I think that's another 125, I believe. I mean, I can always drag the trailer home and keep it here. There's no reason to put it up there, not being used if the boat's not going to be on it. And that's probably what I'll do. I'm down for saving money. This is a shoestring budget. I am not a wealthy man. I mean, I barely work, I had a heart transplant, and I'm ineligible for disability, so there's none of that money coming in. And that's like a week-long story. We won't even get into it. But having gone into transplant, being self-employed, and not having a work history with a real payroll to show, because I was off the books, I was free labor with Phoenix, because we own the business. So I didn't pay myself on paper. Mistake. I didn't have a work history. And you have to have worked, I think, 3 out of the last 5 years when you apply for disability. And I hadn't worked on paper for 15 years. And it's because I've worked for myself. I've had my own businesses and worked as a photographer. And boy, what a mistake that was. But even if I could get the disability, it'd be short term. It'd be a year or two, and they'd kick me off it and say, you're well enough, go work. But all right, I'm rambling again. I'm going to get to work. All right. Okay, B. I'm done on the roof. You're thinking, why the hell is he going back up the ladder? VHF antenna installed. Looks awesome. Let's cross our fingers that it works. I got the new halyard run. That's the one laying on the roof here. I wanted to just point out the difference of what new rope looks like and what skanky ass worn out rope looks like. These are the same patterns of rope, and they should look identical. This is new, beautiful, unstretched rope, not yet put into use. And this is rope that is worn out. This stuff it's gray and it's funky. It's rough on your hands, and it's a smaller diameter, but that's a worn out halyard. And people, most people look at that and go, that rope's fine. No, that rope's done. It is cooked. So this one is my new main, well, it's not my main halyard. I guess you could call it a spare halyard. It won't be in use for jib, and it won't be in use for main. If I run the spinnaker, it'll be in use. It'll be in use for lifting things on the boat. If you had you had to pull somebody out of the water, you could use this. If you had to tip your mast over, you could use this. I'm going to use it for standing the mast and lowering the mast, because I don't want to do that with working halyards. You know, I don't want to take the chance of damaging a jib or a main halyard doing stuff that maybe you wouldn't normally do with a halyard. So it's a front mount on the mast with the swiveling pulley. I guess you would say a swiveling cheek, or swimming block, I guess it is. It's a block, not a cheek. So it'll come down the top side of the mast, so it'll be on the front side of the boat. It's a bigger line because it's going to have stress on it when I use the Jeep to pull the mast up with the winch. And it'll probably, I don't know. I'm gonna have to put another cleat on the mast to stow it. So that's that. Man, look at the boat. Look at it. Would you just look at it? It's so pretty. Look at the blue. Ah, my heart just kind of leaps when I look at it. I did that. I'm so proud. Man, if I could get sails to match this boat, if I could have like a light green and a blue sail with my number on it. So my number would be my transplant number. I was number 159, heart transplant at KU Med, 2022. And that's what I would want on my sail, is 0159. I think that'd be fantastic. Maybe we can buy sails next year. Maybe we can order sails during Christmas or something. Maybe she'll allow me to do that. It's a great expense, you know. Each sail runs about $800, give or take, you know, 7 and change, maybe up to $1,000. So it's a lot of money. But new sails on this boat, well kept and taken care of, I wouldn't have to replace them, I'm gonna guess, for probably 10 or 15 years, depending on the amount of sailing I'm doing. The new technology with the sails, they last a long time. You know, you see the big ocean going, you know, blue water vessels, they're replacing their sails probably 3 to 5 years, you know, maybe 7 max. You know, they're ocean going, they're on the salt, and they're taking a beating. They're used constantly, day in and day out, especially if it's a live-aboard vessel. You know, a weekender, probably not. You know, you might get 10 years out of them. But as a lake vessel, that's only going to be sailed, you know, a couple of times a week, maybe, if I'm lucky. I think sails for this boat, they last probably 12 or 15 years. So it's a great investment if it's $100 a year for a set of sails. Honey, I hope you're seeing this. I'm looking at this boat. I just freaking love it. I'm thinking about doing a blue stripe right down this curve where that handle rail is. That might look really sharp and just kind of make the cabin there pop a little bit. I think that, I don't know. I'll tape it up and I'll look at it. I'm not going to do it today. I'm out of steam and it's getting hot. I'm real thirsty. And the boat will need a good wash before I do it. So that's what's up. you are probably wondering what I was doing with these on the belt sander. These are slides for this little rail right here. And what showed up were round, and they would not fit in this tiny little channel. This is a curtain rod, essentially, to hold my new curtain, to block off this area. This is where, if you had to go number 2 on the boat, this is where you would do it. So rather than stumble around on Amazon trying to find the right size, not knowing the size of the track, I just sanded them down, and they're fitting just fine now. My blood sugar monitor is going off. Nothing to worry about. It's just it's having issues. I wonder if I caught it. No? It's probably because I sweated so much that I've disturbed the connection to the unit. Oh, now it's telling me urgent low. Unreadable low. I don't really believe it, but maybe. Maybe I should go eat something. I'm gonna get these in first though. Also could be a bad reading. My Dexcom 7, G7 is, I mean, it's a great device to have, don't get me wrong. It has made monitoring my blood sugar blissfully more easy than doing the finger sticks. But it's also not without its own problems. I've had, multiple sensors fail. I've accidentally ripped them off me going around a corner and catch my arm on the corner or something. I bet you this one's loose. See this bandage, the sticky thing that sticks to my arm? There's a tiny, tiny little itty bitty needle that goes in there in my arm, and it's whatever it does, and it transmits this data to that unit. And I've had them just kind of get too saturated with sweat and fall off. I've had them just quit. I've had them not connect to the unit that reads it. You name it, I've probably had it go wrong. I call the company. You're supposed to be able to go online and tell them your problem, and they'll mail you new ones. I've never yet been successful with that. So I call them and I tell them what's up, and they send me new ones. My insurance company pays for these. The least they can do is work for the 10 days they're supposed to. Because I tell you, once you get used to having them, it's hard to live without them. Okay, this is where they're a little tight, is on this corner. And I think it's because the track, when it was bent, was squeezed together a little bit. There we go. See, that it gets a lot easier right here. I don't know how many I'm going to need on this side and how many I'm going to need on that side. But I imagine you could draw the curtain to here and draw it back from here to here and let it hang here if you wanted to open it rather than push it to here or push it to there. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's tough around that corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 10. 10 and 10 sounds good. If I put this little plier on and it helps me pull them around. There we go. So that's what I'm doing, and then I'm going to hang up the curtain. The curtain's super pretty. Matches the interior of the boat. It's got blues and browns and golds. And of course it's nautical. Isn't that nice? I think it looks great. Lovely curtain. Hopefully it's long enough. You know, I didn't hold it up there and check, but oh yeah, plenty long. You could put 2 of them up, I suppose, if you wanted to, and bunch them up. I'd need more of these babies. Not too worried about it. But, you know, privacy if you're taking a dump is important. Nobody wants to be watched while they're pooping. So tell me, are you married? You got a girlfriend? What's your open door poop policy? Door open, door closed, does it matter? We've been married 15 years, so it just doesn't matter. But, you know, we are open poopers. Of course, you know, she's actually helped me poop and wipe my butt after transplant. That was one of the things. They're like, you need to have a bowel movement. And I'm like, okay. She's a wonderful wife. I tell you, you got a wife that'll help you drop a deuce and wipe your butt. She's a keeper, for sure. Here's the reveal. Look at that. Real happy how that turned out. Love it, love it, love it. So now you've got a little privacy in the privy. Isn't that cool? So you can come up here and do your business. There's Mr. Johnny and my little toilet. We've talked about maybe putting in a toilet like we have out in our little camper, which is essentially a giant adult diaper genie. It's a Mylar bag that lines the bowl, and you do your business. Number one, use a little pea powder that helps gelatinize it, or number two, and put everything in there, and then you hit the button and it twists the bag and it seals it off, and then a vacuum sucks down the next bowl to use again. It's pretty cool. I think I paid like $450 for that thing. Really well worth it, considering that this you have to take out of the boat physically and dump it somewhere, and you're interacting with human, you know, waste at that point, and nobody wants to do that. I don't know what the repercussions are, so to speak, of doing a number two in this thing. If it's gonna reek, you know, or be disgusting. I mean, you put water in it and you pump that to flush it. You pump it up, fill the bowl, do your business, and then hit it again, and it dumps into the catch down below. Old tech, you know, this is what you see on boats. But yeah, then I got to pick this thing up and I got to carry it somewhere and I got to dump it, you know, got to take it to the house or to a bathroom. That seems disgusting, where I could just take a cartridge and then dispose of it. So maybe in the future, when I've got, you know, a little extra money saved up, we'll convert this puppy to an electric flush toilet, which will be great. Here's the curtain from the backside. So pretty awesome. It's a nice lightweight little curtain. You know, I got my fan right here. So if you're doing number two, you can have a fan blowing on you. You can blow the stink out the hatch. Pretty neat for sure. I got the radio hooked up. It's on, but I'm confused what the red light means. It says TX. I imagine that means transmitting. It's red. I don't know if that's a good red or a bad red. Everything else, like if I hit, I guess that would be intercom. I don't know. INT. I don't know what it even stands for. Somebody tell me what this means. INT. 1 watt or 25 watt. That goes to green. Channel 16. Boom. It jumps there, and I don't know why it's yellow. Why is it yellow? This is an old Uniden MC535. I know nothing about it. It came with the boat. I don't want to have to replace it because they're about $200, and it's something, like I said, you know, I may never need it, but it's certainly nice to have the insurance that it's there. So there's the toilet upgrade. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's test drive this puppy. Just kidding. Hey, I'm about done for the day. About to have a stroke. It's so hot. It's the end of the day. It's near 5, and I've been out here since 9, I think. Okay. Did you notice? The mast is up. Ooh, I just got the cold chills. You know what that means. I'm overheating. This is the last thing I'm doing, and I'm going inside. I'm measuring my tension strength. So we didn't change anything about this line. It's just the way it was. It's set the way it was, and it's reading 31 and a half pounds roughly. And that's the forestay. And that's great pressure. Let's see this one. So we put this through here like this. Nope. Put it through here like this. Can you see this? What I'm doing one-handed is almost impossible. Actually, it's not. It is not possible. There. So this is my shroud, inner shrouds. And they are admittedly a little tight. I tried to loosen them from the ground, and I cannot turn the turnbuckle. There's so much pulling force on it. And so when I take the mast down next time, I will back them out about 4 turns. But they're equal. If you look, can you see the gauge? We're at 31 and a half pounds. Which is, you're supposed to have your, from what I understand, your stays, no, your shrouds are tighter because they're inner. And they go halfway to the mast, halfway up, right there. And your shrouds, see, I'm tired, I can't get this straight in my head. Your shrouds, the inner wire, tighter. Your stays, outer wire, a little looser. And indeed it is. It is about 24 pounds. I'd like this one a little tighter, and I am not able to get it any tighter. And it's just the length. I mean, it's tight. It feels good. Mast isn't going anywhere, certainly. But a little bit more would have been, I think, ideal. But the braking strength on this wire, since I raised the size, I want to size up, I went to 5/16. It's 4,700 pounds. The wire's not breaking. No way, not in this little boat. Maybe on a racing boat that was, I don't know, 35 feet long. The other side is just slightly tighter at about 24 pounds. So I'm happy. We are slightly unbalanced, but not enough to make a huge difference. And the backstay, which never changed, and is stainless steel, is 19 pounds. This one could actually probably be tightened up a little bit, and I'm going to look at the shroud, but not today. I said shroud again, I meant stay. I'm tired, I'm hot, I feel ill. Susan just pulled in the driveway, and she's probably going to be like, "You're an idiot, why are you still out there?" And you know, she's right. I am an idiot. But I'm her idiot, and she loves me, so. Whew, coming down. I was hoping to be done and inside before she got home. Push my mast back up on the deck. There we go. And that's it, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go drink a gallon of water. That's my spinnaker. And she's glorious. Oh, my heart is racing. That's about the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Look at her, she's so light. She catches nearly no air. It's just not even hardly present. I hauled her up on the new halyard, which goes to the very top of the mast. And then we'll run her bottom foot lines back to the back of the boat. Come on, give me a little puff of wind. Give me one little puff of wind. Okay, I'm on the boat. It is absolutely just hotter than double bass today. It's next to no wind. All right, here she goes. I think she's gonna fill out. Maybe not. I got the main up. Got her all re-rigged. Here she goes. She's filling out a little bit. It's so big I can't get back far enough to really see it without being on the ground. I mean, look at that. Oh, she's beautiful. She's made of just the lightest fabric. I mean, it almost feels like silk. It's not. It's definitely like a Gore-Tex maybe. Super lightweight. She's made to use running downwind in very light winds. Look at her, she's filling out. Oh, here we go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'll bring her sides in. Look, we're in the tunnel. Isn't that beautiful? The boat is currently facing dead downwind. The wind changed directions. It's coming from straight behind us, but it's only maybe half a knot. Barely blowing. You couldn't even sail in this right now. Let's get a picture of that.